What's up guys, it's TGR, that's Gaming Robo, back with another video on Championship Manager 0102. Guys, in this video we're going to be looking to see how you're able to rebuild a new team on Championship Manager 0102 if you are working with limited resources. Now, as always guys, don't forget to make sure that you do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel and hit all 4 notifications on the notifications bell. Well, let's hit that intro guys and we can start this video. So guys, if you're looking to rebuild a new team on your Championship Manager 0102 save, it's a pretty long process, let's be honest. So what you're looking to do is trying to bring more resources into the club, but then at the same time you want to try and spend some of that resources so you're able to get the players that you want into your team, so you're able to challenge for all the honours in your domestic league. Now the first thing you can look at is quite simple, looking at all the free transfer players. Now, obviously, when it gets to a couple of seasons down the line, you can see a couple of players and you can be like, yeah, I can use him for a couple of seasons, I can use him for a couple of seasons. But then afterwards, that player seems to fall apart because obviously the age of that player might be at the wrong side of 30. So it's always a short-term gain, long-term pain, what you need to look at for your team. So if you're looking down the line in a couple of seasons, best thing to do, if you load up majority of the leagues, I mean, I would say first of all go to Sweden, because their season finishes in November, December time. Then you go through the teams like Hammarby, for example, go on contract, click on releases, and you can see relegation release clauses, you can see minimum fees. But I mean, for example, if you go to Djurgården, you get players like Andreas Isaksson, who's a top-class goalkeeper on the game, or Mikael Dawson, a top defensive midfielder on the game, relegation release clauses, and you're paying literally pennies for them. 80,000 for Dawson, 90,000 for Andreas Isaksson. But that's just in the Swedish league. Obviously, if you go into, let's say, if you go into Division 1 and go on to contract, click on releases and you can see some of the players release if they've got a minimum fee release clause. So let's say hypothetically Crystal Palace, like you've got Marlon Brooms there, who's valued at 950,000. You can get him for £1.1 million on a minimum fee release clause, and you've got a pretty good centre back there for a good 6-7 years at his peak. I mean, you've got other teams such as Grimsby. Now, I know, of course, this is into the 3rd season, of course, and Jamie Cureton is part of Grimsby team, but originally he is part of the Reading team. You can get him on a free transfer in a couple of seasons' time, but if he joins a Division 1 or Division 2 team, 9 times out of 10, he'll have a minimum fee release clause. So if you go onto contract, you can see you can buy him for £400,000, which is exactly what he's valued at today. And he's one of those players that will bag you shed loads of goals if you're playing in the lower leagues of English football. But going back to Sweden, you can go on a team like Häcken, go on the contracts, minimum fee release clauses, and you can see there, Kim Kallstrom, £3.3 million. He's valued at $2.5 million already, but this guy, he is one of the best attacking midfielders on the game, if you exclude the likes of Sergei Nikiforenko, or Jarvin, or Aldolfo, the free transfer player at the beginning of the season. So, you know, you've got a load of players on this game that can bag you, shed loads of goals, or create you loads of goals on a very small budget. But this is just one way of looking at getting really good players on the cheap. The other way of looking at it, going on to the player search, go on to contracts, and you can find all the non-promotion release clauses, or in fact you can look for relegation release clauses as well. So there are many ways to actually find players on the cheap if you're running with limited resources. So if we're looking at the relegation release clauses, let's have a look at Cristiano Lucarelli of Torino. Relegation release clause, £2.8 million. That's all it takes to prize him away from Torino. He's a really good striker on the game as well. I mean, as you can see, Torino, they're not a massive team, but he's scoring he's at least scoring 15 plus goals in a season for you. Now, That's just obviously, you know, a few different ways. Of course, you've got the generic way of looking through the expiring list at the end of the season. And let's say you're a team that doesn't have the ability to sign the players like Oliver Kahn or Marcelo Salas or Elber, Diveo, etc., etc. Going on the interested side, I'm managing VVV of Holland at the moment, so there's not a lot of players that I can really attract to come into my setup. But obviously you've got the likes of Stefan Honches, who let's be honest, he's a great defender on this game. And you've got other players such as Clarence Acuna, Jermaine Pennant, Samuel Okonowo, even Philip Mexis. So you've got a lot of chances to find really good, world-class players on the Bosman ruling, as long as you get there in time. Obviously the best way to look at it is, for example, you're looking at Philip Mexis, looking at his contract ends on the 9th of June 2004. So I know for a fact on the 9th of December, I'm going to be able to approach him for a Bosman ruling contract. So guys, like I said, there's many ways of finding good players that you need to build your team, to rebuild your team, in fact, if you're running on a small time budget. Now guys, if you think this video has been informative, or it's been a good way of actually introducing to you other ways of actually trying to find players, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as always, hit that notification bell, and like I said at the beginning of the video, you need to select all for notifications. Now don't forget as well guys, we do have the Championship Manager 0102 Facebook group where we've got over 100 people now on the group itself, and we're all sharing our stories and our Championship Manager hints and tips. So please make sure that you do go on that link in the descriptions down below and join the group as well. Well, apart from that guys, I hope you have liked this video, as I said, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you here next time on Tuesday night here at TGR. That's Gaming Robo.